veganroad.com.
When you guys are stuck at work or in a social situation where you don't have a lot of time to break down veganism, what is your quickest response to why you're vegan?
What the fuck is up?
So this is my favorite question because the shortest.
I don't play favorites, by the way. This is his favorite question.
The shortest way of explaining why you're vegan is the best way. You don't want to get into this long diatribe.
That's the best with anything, with everything.
Yeah, with everything. Short
The
answer.
goal shouldn't be to like make it as long as possible. It should be to make it as concise as possible.
And a lot of times it shows your confidence too. But I mean, like,
And your demeanor shows your confidence too. The way that you're
totally, yeah,
carrying yourself.
And we'll get into the best answer. But what you definitely do
What
not
you
want
don't
to do
want to do
first. You don't want to do things like compare, talk about the animal holocaust.
Don't
or
fucking talk about the Holocaust.
don't compare it to the fucking Holocaust.
Unless you're
Unless
a
you're a
Holocaust
Holocaust
survivor,
survivor.
then you can do that. Don't
If you're a Holocaust survivor, you can do
Don't fucking compare it to slavery.
it. People get very upset about both of those.
Do not compare animals to humans. Don't try to make an equal playing field with animals and humans. They're not ready for that.
If you're gonna do anything, you can compare it to a dog, or compare it to a dog or a cat. Don't
Yes.
compare it to humans, because people will freak the fuck
It's
out.
true. Yeah.
And you don't want them to freak the fuck out.
Yes.
Maybe you're right in doing it, but people will freak out, so don't do it. And also, you want to make it relatable to the people you're talking to. So you don't want to explain why you're vegan in a way that like makes them feel like they need to change their values, change
that's
their
right.
beliefs,
Yeah, that's
change who they are.
Yeah.
You explain it in a way where it already fits in with their values. So they should be thinking, when you explain why you're vegan, they should be thinking like, holy shit, like,
And that's me.
I
That's
agree.
me.
I agree with what you just said. Like, I should be vegan too.
Yeah, that goes with the whole thing about change is hard, and we talk a lot about this stuff with our fitness and nutrition clients. Change is hard, but how can we make change easy? We can make change easy when people don't feel like they need to change at all. When it's so easy that it's just like a little tiny step. And the fact is, see, our whole argument with why the world is going to be vegan is because everyone, except for a few fucked up individuals, everyone is opposed to animal cruelty. So everyone is already vegan inside. There's no need to change. It's just a need to align with their already pre-existing values.
Yeah. So like some examples, like, you don't want to explain it in a way where it's like something like, I don't think animals were put here for us to use or put here for us to eat. Most people, if you explain it that way, they do currently kind of in a way think it's like semi-normal to think like animals are put here for us to eat. Some animals are put here for us to eat.
Also, I feel like this is a good point that the goal is not to create a divisive argument. And when you position it like that, you're literally challenging them. You're saying like, I believe this, but you believe that because you're eating that. It's like, no, dude, we're both on the same page. You just haven't fully connected those dots yet, and that's totally cool. You're gonna get there. Like, you're eating a steak right now, but you actually you're realizing right now that that's kind of fucked up.
There's a few other examples we could do, but anyways, you don't explain it in a way where they have to change their values or change their beliefs.
And
he already did. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say don't be angry, defensive, and don't argue. Like we don't argue.
Don't argue no matter what.
Don't fucking argue with anyone. Like
If they bring up a point to combat your argument, like do whatever you can to find some way to like say like, oh, that's a good question, or it's a good point. Find some way to like slightly agree with what they're saying, no matter what, no matter how insane it is.
That's a good point. Always find a way to agree.
What should you say? And he already kind of said it, probably like a minute or two ago. I'm opposed to animal abuse. That's it. Very simple, very concise. Every fucking person you meet is opposing animal abuse. And you can also throw in, if you want, I saw a video and it showed how animals on factory farms are confined in cages they can barely move. They're mutilated without painkillers. For example, pigs have their testicles ripped out without painkillers, their teeth ripped out, their tails chopped off, and then when they're slaughtered, some of them have their throats slit when they're fully conscious. And I learned that was standard in the way they do things, and when I found that out, I didn't want to support it anymore because I'm opposed to animal abuse.
Yeah. So the short answer is you're opposed to animal abuse. And one last.
But if you do want to go a little bit further and explain that, like that's okay. But don't go any longer than that.
Yeah.
I'm opposed to animal abuse is very
And
concise.
one last thing we want to touch on, because we want to be crystal fucking clear about this. Your goal when you're hanging out with somebody shouldn't be to just spin off and just go off on a tangent about why you're vegan. This should be when somebody,
Strategic,
this should
yeah.
be a strategic place where somebody specifically asks you about it. You shouldn't be just spewing off.
Don't try. Don't
at
attempt.
any chance.
Yeah, don't attempt to bring up why you're vegan or veganism or whatever at any moment. Like only bring it up when you're asked, or just that's strategic.
Attempt to be an awesome person with every interaction you have, and when somebody asks you about it,
Don't be surprised.
answer the way that we told you to answer. Do that shit.